What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie all day, bringing you a blade. Oh yeah, the Wolf Knives Pioneer FIXedc, the FIXedc. That means fixed blade in Wolf Knives language. So like always, it comes in the awesome packaging. Kind of looks like a VHS cassette from back in the day. And speaking of back in the day, Sean Tiffany rocked another cool 1800 style cowboy on a horse, and I am absolutely digging it. So let's check out this blade. Now, this blade is going to be available on Friday the 17th. So today is Thursday the 9th. So that means next Friday from this video. And the reason I'm showing this to you now is so you can get a heads up, because they do sell out. So I want you to have a good heads up ahead of time, because if I put the video out on Saturday and you go there and all of a sudden the configuration you want is sold out, then you're going to feel pretty bad, because it's going to be almost impossible to get one at the regular price, because then people are going to start bumping them up. So I'm going to start with this sheath though, because this is a thing of beauty. Now you're going to notice the purple stitching, and everybody knows I'm not a fan of purple, but I'm a fan of quality. And this is truly a high quality piece of sheath right here. Now it is a boot / belt clip. You can see that little line right there. What that's going to do is when you slide it onto your boot, that's going to dig into the side so it doesn't accidentally come out. What it's also going to do is if you slip in a belt, the belt won't come out because it's angled that way. So it's actually a really, really greatly designed pocket clip. It's a two-way lock, which is very, very nice. And if you heard that little snap, that was just the magnet on the box closing, which is very, very nice. But let's get into, speaking of very, very nice, this beautiful blade. So let's you know what, before I show you the blade, I'm going to show you the configurations that I just mentioned, so you can see what kind of blades you can actually get next Friday on the 17th. Hold on. All right, so this one right here is called the Saw Cut Crystallized Titanium Gold Anodized Belt Satin DLC. DLC obviously being the black. I think that is freaking amazing. That's amazing. I really am digging that. I think that's super cool. So next you have the red Alabone, and this is one of those ones where you need to see it in person. The last knife I brought you from Wolf Knives had that Alabone. It was like a blue and white and green. It was just absolutely stunning. That right there is something you need to see. That is freaking amazing. Speaking of amazing, you have camo carbon 80s, which I have in another knife. As a matter of fact, I think I have it right here. See if I can't. In the sun, this thing absolutely is magnificent. But this is what that is. This is carbon camo 80s. And it is phenomenal. The one I'm about to bring you is the titanium crosshatch, the full titanium job. And as you can see, purple. It's actually really, really nice. And then you have the Kieranite Toxic Green on that DLC coating. And this is another one of those that you have to see in person type knives. All right, so let's get into it. This is the knife. Now, the pattern, a lot of you with a keen mind are going to go, holy crap, that looks just like a sodbuster slip joint. And you'd be right, except it's not a slip joint. It is a fixed blade. It is a fixed blade sodbuster. And you have heard me say many times that I think, as far as slip joints are concerned, I think the sodbuster is the best pattern out there. It is my absolute favorite. So to have a sodbuster fixed blade, I think that is pretty cool. Now again, the size for me because I have double X hands, I am a jumbo human being. The size of the grip was always going to be too short for me. Disclaimer, without the lanyard. This little lanyard actually works as an extended grip. When you lock your fingers in it, it gives me, because I'm pulling away, so I'm pushing my fingers this way on the grip and this way on the lanyard, and it literally locks my hand in. So if I didn't use the lanyard at all, I'd have, let's see if I can tuck it under, I'd have no way of keeping this blade secure in my hand because it's tiny, right? But once I do this and I push, I have all the grip I'm ever going to need. And that surprised me because I'm not a big lanyard person. On these, you gotta be. I mean, it literally works. Now, obviously, not everybody has my hands, so a smaller hand is gonna fit absolutely perfect with this. But that lanyard makes a ginormous difference. So let's go over some of the specs and then we'll take it outside and do some cutting. So it is from the premium series, which means it is hardcore wonderfulness. Pattern. Oh, okay. Sodbuster. I didn't even read it. I was going off the cuff. So it is called a farmer's knife, aka Sodbuster. Fixed blade. The scales are Dark Blast Titanium Crosshatch 2. I'm not 100% what the 2 is. This might be his second version of Crosshatch. They might have done a different one before. I really like how he ended it. So where the bolsters are, it's kind of open, and that gives these long lines. I think that looks really, really good. The lanyard is snake knot black paracord with purple anodized titanium bead, and you're going to see that purple in the titanium Torx. And let's see, the sheath is ambidextrous black leather purple stitch with clip. We already saw that. The hardware, polished titanium Torx. The blade is a hollow ground S90V. Now, this is what's really cool about this hollow grind. I went, I wonder what kind of grind it is. And I said, oh, wow, I think it's a nice flat grind. It's a hollow grind. It's just such a shallow hollow, it feels flat. What that's going to do is it's going to give you a tougher blade at the edge, where normal hollow grinds are really, really thin. This one actually still has some meat left in the blade before you get to your edge, and I am a fan of that. The blade finish is hand satin. The total length is 6.02 inches. You have a 3-inch blade and a 3.02-inch grip. The cutting edge is 2.77 inches. Scale to scale is 0.36 inches. The blade stock is 3 millimeters thick, and it only weighs 4 ounces with the sheath and 2.3 ounces without it. The Rockwell is 6061, and of course, as always, Sean Tiffany is the artwork guru master. All right, so let's take it outside. Whoo-wee, and away we go. It is beautiful out here. All right, so this is the knife in the light, and you can see it's a looker. It is a really, really nice looking design. I think Ben Belkin did an amazing job with this. It looks fantastic. I really, really love this lanyard. It does so much, even just without putting it in between my fingers, just grabbing it here and pulling back. And it's weird. This is where this little thing comes in, because it doesn't move, right? It's solid, and it has like these edges on it. The way it's designed, it really, really locks me in there. Oh, let's see overall shave sharp. I mean, man, I could bald out a monkey with this thing. It is 100% razor sharp. That is crazy sharp, but that's something you come to expect from a Jack Wolf Knives blade. All right, so remember, it's a hollow grind, so don't do what I'm about to do. We just want to see the ability of the depthness of the tip. Wow, it's a good looking blade. Of the tip, and the penetration and the toughness of the tip. Ooh, yeah. That's a hard throw right there. So that got in really well. That is over a 1/4 inch right there. We're going to do it one more time. that goes in really well. That is a 1/2 inch dip right there. That is very, very nice. So you can see that tip is A, strong enough, it didn't bend, and B, the grind is perfect enough to where you know you're going to get good penetration if you have to go into something. So if you are using this in the field and maybe you have some game, you need to push down and then pull or whatever, the penetration is going to be absolutely perfect. All right, let's get some cutting in. I'm almost out of my little bungee cord here. So let's do a little push cut on the bungee cord. And it's just absolutely, you know how you can feel a sound? I felt the pop when this thing went through. It made a pop, and it was really, really nice. That's the little guy. Now let's go to the big guy. And remember, I'm just doing, on these, I'm just doing push cuts, right? Now you're going to notice this little right here. That's because grooves in the wood that just pushed in. The part that didn't groove in the wood is completely flat. That is as clean of a cut as you're going to get. That is absolutely wonderful. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. This is where this knife is going to absolutely shine. This thing is amazing. The blade angle and the edge geometry on this knife is second to none. I mean, this right here, this is where your money goes. This edge geometry is amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. If you need to get a fire going and you need some kind of fluff, you need a bird's nest built, this right here, that's going to do the trick. That is flawless activity right there. All right, let's see. We got the garden hose. So we got 2 layers of nylon. I got the UPS truck. Hold on. All right. I think I pressed play again. I can't see anything with the sun, but I think I did. All right, so getting back to this hose. Double layer of nylon, double layer of rubber. We're going to give it a nice little quick cut right here, and that is wonderful. So let's get a good rip. Whoa. And I tell all the time, with this material it's perfect because a dull knife or a toothy edge is going to fray this edge because this nylon is so thin. When you get a cut that clean with 0 fibers frayed out, you know you got yourself a very, very sharp edge. That is impressive. That is impressive. All right, so let's get a nice little cut. Ooh-wee. I love the Jack Wolf Knives blade, man. I really, really do. I love them. All right, let's see here. Bam. That is super, super clean, super nice. All I'm getting is glare, so I have to just have faith that I'm actually in this shot. Otherwise, you guys are hearing some voice and seeing nothing. So I had the UPS guy come. Oh my gosh, look at this. So if you have to skin, this is leather, rubber, mesh. If you have to skin, you are going, oh my gosh, I'm just pressing down and it's just cruising through. But I'm waiting all week this week. I have deliveries coming because I'm creating a new Star Wars character. I'm always doing goofy stuff, right? I'm creating a new Star Wars character, a backstory, and a purpose for the character. We have an event coming up where it's like this Disney thing where you do, it's a costumed event. And so you know, being Star Wars people, we are going to, golly, that is super, super nice. Being Star Wars people, we're going to do some Star Wars stuff. And, oh, I got a big screw in this one. I got to be careful. So we think that's cool. And then the anniversary for Roswell, New Mexico is this year. So like we did last year, we're most likely going to go to Roswell this year for the event. Last year was a blast. And, you know, you do some costuming in there, and you always want to do something alien. And even though Star Wars characters like Skywalker and Kenobi and all these people, they're all human, they're all still aliens because they come from different planets. So I'm going to do an entire thing set up around that. But while I talked, you were able to see this thing in action. And in action it was. This knife is wonderful. It's everything you want your sod buster to be, except it doesn't close on you when you baton with it. That is fan-freaking-tastic. This is another absolute win from Jack Wolf Knives. I think this thing is wonderful. It's comfortable. It's sharp. It's good-looking. I mean, what else do you need? This thing is fan-freaking-tastic. So, you have plenty of time to get ready. It's coming out next Friday, the 17th. It's going to be released. I'm going to put the link below for this model. And as soon as it's freed up, you guys are going to be able to get to buy. But at least now you have something to mark on your calendar so you don't lose your chance on getting one of these. Wonderful, wonderful knife. That's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.